everyone, this is Vickie Wind back for our December craft, which is a gnome. And here's one of our samples. And here is a second sample. And this is how I'm going to show you how to assemble it. And before we get started, I wanted to tell you about next month's craft in January. It's a winter sea glass luminary. I have a picture of it here. This one right here. And it has, mine's going to have, this is the picture of the one that the teens are doing. I'm going to have a lid with a puffball, and the snowflakes that are on it are going to be white on ours. So that is January's craft, so I hope you can join us for that one too. So let's get started on our gnome. To start your gnome out in your bag, you're going to find your wooden triangle. You're going to have your two pieces of fabric. This is for the bottom, and this is for the hat. You're going to find the piece, your beard, to put on, and you're going to have some polyfill to put inside the hat to make it stand up kind of puffy-ish. And in here, you're going to have your wooden nose, the trim for the hat, and a little puff ball for the top of the hat. So the first thing you have to do is you start at the bottom and work up. So here is the piece for the bottom. And you're going to take it and you're going to wrap it around the bottom of the triangle, and you're going to make sure it comes right to the edge here. Center it and just comes right to the edge of the wood like this. So if you just line it up so it comes right to the edge, but not over it, and then wrap it around like this. Wrap it around to the back like this, and just make sure that you've covered all of the wood here. And then what I do, make sure you have your hot gun nice and ready. And all you have to do is, once you get it wrapped around really good like this, make sure that it's just on the edge, then hot glue down the one side. Just take your hot glue gun and fold that piece back and do a little hot glue. A little glue right in here, and get it to, mine's almost out, need a new one. And then press it down so it'll stay. We can reinforce it with a little more glue later. Now once I have that, wrap this around, and then what I do to make it look a little better is when I pull it tight so there's no puckering like this, then I fold it in half to make like a little seam right here, because then we're gonna just trim off these with scissors. So I have sort of like a nice line right down here. You can make it right to the center however you want to do it. And fold it down. Make sure you cover up any of the wood on the bottom here. And then take your hot glue gun, squirt a little glue in there, and press it down really firm. At that point, you can trim all these pieces around here. I have little small shears that I just trim then right across by the wood, and just trim it off. And trim it around the sides just a little bit. That's all you need to do so that it can stand up well. So trimming those. And I always test it out and make sure it's standing really well. So test it that it can stand up, and it does, so you know you're okay. Because you can go back and trim any of the others little pieces later. There we go. Okay, so now you have this part done. The next part is the beard. And you'll see the long part is the top, because these are shorter. The little triangle goes at the bottom. This is the part you want to wrap around. And then you can wrap around about maybe almost 2 inches from the top, just so that the beard does, not too low. You want to be able to see some of your fabric here. And then just wrap it around here and hot glue it down. Lay it down, put a little hot glue there. Put a little hot glue here. And glue it down. And later on, we can trim some of the beard from the sides if you'd like. If you'd like to trim some of these, or you can leave it just like this. At this point, then after you have that done, you want to take your nose and hot glue it right at the edge of your beard. Right at the edge. Sort of like, sometimes I even push down the beard just a little bit and hot glue it right there. Okay? So then I just put a bunch of glue. And I usually, pull it down just a little bit, put a little glob of glue right there. And then put my nose right there. And I hold it until it sticks. So give it a few seconds. And so you've got that part. Now comes the tricky part, and that's the hat. So this one is a little more tricky. So I'm going to set our little gnome over here for a minute. Now, this triangle piece is for the hat. And what you want to do, I've marked the bottom with that little dot. There's a little black dot, so you know that's the bottom. And now what we want to do is we want to fold it with the inside of the fabric outward, because basically what we're going to do is hot glue this together and then turn it inside out for the hat. So line it up as well as you can all along the edges with the bottom here, and then just make it all the way to a point. And I usually trying to fold it just a little bit so it lays nicely when I'm trying to hot glue, because you're going to just put some hot glue on the inside where the good fabric is. Just a little line of hot glue here all the way through so you can hot glue these two pieces together. This doesn't have to be too perfect at the end because we're going to fold it over and put a puffball at the end, a little pom-pom. So once you have that nice fold, the triangle folded like this, then take your hot glue gun. It's going to be tricky, hopefully. And then all we have to do is put a little line of glue, lift this one side up, and just put a little line of glue along the edge and hot glue that piece to it like that, and then continue on up. If you're good, you may be able to do it all in one piece, but I did it in little sections. And just hot glue it all the way, press it down, hot glue it. There we go. All the way to the tip. And then just hot glue it down. Check the other side. That looks pretty good. Give it a chance to dry. Now what I did to do it, turn it inside out, push like this, kind of stick your fingers up in it, and just turn it inside out, pushing that up as much as you can. To turn it inside out. So now we have our hat. Now see, this glue didn't hold, which is not a problem. We can just put a little more in there. And hot glue it together. It's not a problem. Put a little more here. There we go. Hot glue that together. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. So now, and then sometimes I use a pencil, and you can just pull that little piece out at the top, press it out with your pencil, or just pick it out so that you have a nice little end to fold over, because we're going to fold this over and put a pom-pom on it. So I'll push a little bit more out. There we go. So now we have our hat. Okay. And once you have that like this, sort of like a point at the back, we're going to take that and fit it over our gnome, the top of the triangle, like this, so that it's going to come and look like this. And it can fit right behind, you can put it right behind the little nose. So he looks like this. See, like this. Because we're going to put a trim all the way around it. And once you have that done, you can, I put a hot glue in the back to start because this is going to be all with it trimmed. So you really need a good hot glue right at the tip of your hat to get it to stay there. Like that. Okay. So now we have the hat. He's got his hat on. And you could, if you wanted, you could put some little hot glue underneath here and push it and put it onto the beard. Just put a little glue gun and put it down on the beard. There you go. Hot glue it down like that. Now the next thing you do is you take, what I did forget to do, before you do that, take your fiberfill and press some up into here. So take this, put some fiberfill. I like it because it makes it stand up a little better. Don't do too much in here because we're going to be bending this over to put our little pom-pom on. So don't put too much up into the tip, but right here so that it can stand up well. Just a little bit. There we go. Then put that on there. I think it makes it stand up and look a little better. And you can squish it and make it look good. And then just center that on the back again, around his little nose. Push it down in there. There we go. So he looks good. Okay. Then you can take your trim. There we go, like this. And I started at the back. And then just put it around the hat, like this. And we'll hot glue it down in little places. And so just make sure you're covering the edge of your hat. I think I should hot glue this down, the hat down just a little bit more in the back. There we go. Make sure it stays well. There we go. Then wrap this around so that it's at a point here. Make sure you've got it around enough to go around, all around the whole hat, like this. Okay, and then you just hot glue that in place. There we go. Fix this little thing in here. There we go. And I place a little hot glue at, different little points just to make sure that it stays. Press it in. Just hot glue it down. There we go. And then I will do it in the front, right here. And then press it down into the glue so it stays well. Do it on the other side. Press it down in there. Goes right around his nose. So there he is right now. And now we need to do the little top part. So basically all you have to do is take the little top like this and fold it over sort of toward the front a little bit, like that. And we just hot glue that down. Nope, this little seam popped open. No worries. We just do a little more hot glue in there. There we go. And if it's too puffy, just get some of your fiber fill and move it down toward his nose. There we go. You can squish it around some. There we go. Then take it and just fold it over like this toward the front. Sort of like this. So you just fold it over like that toward the front so you can see the pom-pom. And then fold it over a little bit and then hot glue it in that space. Oh, I'm stuck. There we go. And then put just a little hot glue right in there and fold it over. There we go. So now we have, needs a little bit more folding. There we go. So it's folded over. And then we're going to put a little puff ball from your bag. Take the puff ball, and then we just hot glue it right on the tip. There you go. And there is our Christmas gnome. He's all done. Now, also attached to this video, I have put instructions, and I have given you, I have made templates of each of these for you. They'll be on paper, and then you can draw them on to use it to trace onto your cloth. I'll have one for the bottom piece. It's a big rectangle. I have a big triangle here that you can use to cut out patterns of the hat. I have also a pattern for the beard. And I have also written in the instructions where I purchased the materials for all of this. So in case you wanted to make more of your own gnomes. So I hope you have fun making your gnome for Christmas. Hope you see you in January. Bye.